Let's do this. We are officially halfway through the NFL season, so you came up with some NFL mid-season superlatives. We did MVP, we did Coach of the Year, we did Rookie of the Year. Let's start with MVP, Paige Dimakos. Who we have?
This is Matthew Stafford, and it ain't close. 25 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He leads the league in touchdowns. He's third in passing yards. He's 2,400, well over 2,400 passing yards. They lead the NFC West. He's got a 115 passer rating. They are second in offensive points per game, third in passing yards per game. I don't know how many more throws and ways you got to see Matthew Stafford win, but this man shimmied today on TV and I lost my mind. I cannot believe Texas Matthew Stafford did that on camera. I said, that's a bad man. Everybody better watch out. Stafford is the MVP and he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. So this is, I think, MVP, but I think Super Bowl. Right now, they look like the best and most complete team. I hope on God that everybody finds somebody that looks at them the way Sean McVay looks at Matthew Stafford, because that man looks at him with the ultimate level of admiration of, like, as an offensive genius, when you got a quarterback that can do everything, it's like the most beautiful thing that you could have. It's because you could call every play you can get, and he's going to do it. And he's just, I mean, yeah, I got nothing more. I don't need to say anymore. I just, Jonathan Taylor, shout out to the running backs. I love my guy JT. If there was a separate category I could put for running backs, I'd put you in there. But just, it's Stafford's numbers are crazy. It's just
the
impossible
numbers,
to go against.
right, and the numbers are becoming overwhelmingly leaning towards him. And we know this is a quarterback award. I'm glad you mentioned Jonathan Taylor because he's doing the same thing Saquon did last year, and that's running a team to the playoffs and being one of the best teams in a conference. Let's do this. Let's go Coach of the Year, Paige DeMarco. Who we got?
Okay, this one's really hard because it's a coin toss between Shane Steichen and Mike Vrabel. And I'll tell you why I'm leaning. These are two teams that were not expected to be in the position they're in. They have the exact same record. They are playing their asses off. But the reason why I tipped the scale to Shane Steichen is for one reason and one reason alone. Daniel Jones. The rebirth of the quarterback and what he's been able to do, a guy who everybody else wrote off, a guy who came in, battled for the position, and ended up winning the position. They go on the road. They go to an international game. They take care of business. Listen, I love Vrabel. And I fought for Vrabel in a year where I thought he should have won Coach of the Year, and he didn't win Coach of the Year. This is going to be a tough one because I think he deserves it too. I wish we could give co-coach of the year, but because of the quarterback situation, because of handling the Anthony Richardson situation, I think there's a lot of reasons why that you have to, when you look about dealing with the quarterback position, new ownership, obviously with the passing away of Jim Irsay, his 3 daughters taking over. I really think this organization deserves a lot of credit, and man, what a rebirth for everybody there in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I agree with Shane Steichen for Coach of the Year right now. And we have to flash back. Let's just go to August, Paige DeMarcos. And remember, he was set with the decision between Anthony Richardson, a guy who just tapped himself out of a football game, something we've never seen a quarterback do, and Daniel Jones, who was just ran out of New York. On top of, you're on a hot seat to where you were leading odds to a coach that may be fired, the first coach to be fired in the NFL season, and then turn around, block out all the noise, right? Get Daniel Jones playing really good football, right? Having to deal with some of the media blowback of why Anthony Richardson, different things, but then to put your team towards the top of the AFC and to do that in just a few months, without a doubt, you have to get Coach of the Year because of all of the ancillary pieces that you had to deal with out of the uncontrollables.
Yeah, hell of a coaching job. Like I said, shout out to my boy Vrabes. I don't want to get any text messages from Vrabel for not picking him, but my vote would be for Shane Steichen as of right
let's
now.
do this. Let's wrap up with Rookie of the Year, Paige DeMarcos. Who we have?
Emeka Egbuka. And he had 115 yards and a touchdowns with 6 catches. He leads all rookies in receiving yards per game. And I want to give, because Tyler Warren to me was a really close number 2. But I think when you talk about being vital to his team so early on. Emeka Egbuka, with the injuries to both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, has become totally vital to his team. He has already become a number one wide receiver so early on. You think about that first week of the year, he scores that game-winning touchdown against Atlanta. That when you're talking about clutch, vitality, being vital to your team already so early on as a rookie, that's insane. Those are things that don't happen right away for rookies. And that's where I put Emeka Egbuka already. So I think there's been a lot of great rookies. As I said, Tyler Warren's been great, but I got to give the nod to Emeka Egbuka.
Yeah, I'll say this. I kind of think that he's separated himself
I
in this
agree.
conversation, right? Like I think it's Emeka Egbuka and then a gap. And we've had, some different players like Matthew Golden, right? He went in the first round. Obviously, Ashton Genty and then Omari and Hampton were guys that everybody was looking towards. And Emeka Egbuka came out from the very beginning, was like, hey, okay, cool. The opportunity is there for me to be productive. I'm about to hit the ground running. And I flash back to him even coming into the NFL draft. Emeka Egbuka he was a guy that everybody liked, but I'm not sure everybody loved, right? And he stepped in and showed you why, hey, throw the measurables out the window, throw the 40-yard dash stuff out the window. I can simply play football. And to match up, to kind of pair and sync with Baker Mayfield at this point in his career, right? Baker's been in the league a very long time, and usually veteran quarterbacks and young wide receivers, there's a learning curve that has to happen, right? Where he's like, this young guy had to make sure he runs the right route. That if it's an option route that he sees, that he sees the hotkeys the same way. And it appears that Baker Mayfield not only thinks Emeka is talented, he trusts him at a very high level. So I agree with you. Let's give the draft club nod to Emeka Egbuka for Rookie of the Year.